Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another one of those. It's like an update. It's like a weekly update that we do. We do it once a week. We do it on Friday. Today happens to be, and I just happened to look down at my watch right now. It's Friday the 13th. Oh, I don't do that thing. I'm not afraid of spiders either. What did we get done? I think some of the newer obstacles are looking pretty good. The Death Stranding inspired one is pretty much done. I've got some rocks set aside for if sections of it prove to be too easy to navigate, because it should be infinitely frustrating. That is the goal of the Death Stranding obstacle. The Montanas are almost done. I've done some crack filling out there, getting some good work. If you'd been following the episodes through the week or saw any of the shorts, you'll know that I zombified two things this week. My trusty old Milwaukee half-inch hammer drill, which the Magic Pixies got out, but it still works. And the OMG 80 kilogram servo, which I definitely silently let some Magic Pixies out of because it still works. But it's definitely not going to approach anything near 80 kg at any time now or into the future. So I've made two zombies this week. I'm going to continue to use the Milwaukee until it gives up its final ghost. That thing's already been around over a decade, and it replaced a drill, an old Porter Cable drill that was here longer than that, and had been left out in the rain a dozen times, had been fully submerged at least once, and got stolen. I loaned it to a buddy of mine, and somebody stole his pickup truck, and they stole my drill at the same time. So I got that Milwaukee, and it just couldn't handle the whole weight of stirring mortar. It's mixed a lot of mortar. So, as you all should know, Thursday is Beadlock Thursday. I try not to film on Thursdays. I do stuff, routine maintenance, moving tires around for tire tests, etc. Speaking of which, there will be a tire test coming up very soonly. The Cross RC Blackrock. They have already been mounted. Canyon Softs, 4 Canyon Softs in them. We'll talk about that when we talk about the review of that. And as it was Beadlock Thursday, and we were shuffling beadlocks around, in a recent trade, I received a set of rims that I would only do this once, and I did only do this once. I had said that Buffalo Bill had what I considered to be the sexiest set of wheels, but these wheels just, I mean, that's some stuff. Real deal Trials, my first ever set of Trial wheels, and these Trial wheels are beadlocks, if you know what I'm saying by that, because you can kind of see the back of this one, and you can see that there's no screws back there. So should I ever want to take these tires off, you have to take all 24 beadlock screws out. That is not a thing. So we mounted them to here on inserts and tires, Canyon Softs front and rear, inserts and tires that we know to work on this vehicle. And he is set like a jet. He is ready to rock. So he had those wheels that I had cobbled together out of all sorts of pieces and basically made myself fake Vanquish wheels with the IFRs. Those wheels moved on to the very heavy now Jake. Oh, look at those. That's a good looking wheel. And I changed out the hubs to basically bring Jake back to the exact width that he was before when he was on the Injora wagon wheels. He was on the gold wagon wheels. He still needed some gold. He's a boy that loves gold. He still needed some gold. He will be doing a test coming up here, like an informal test of, I put it away for some reason, of this servo right here, which look, another 25 tooth horn for me. So, DS Power. I'm becoming a big fan of DS Power. DS Power makes a half height, and as you can see, HV. So the DHO15A is designed to go up to 8.4 volts. And channel member, regular contributor, and future owner of the Flanco, found out what happens if you hook a JX4409MG up to 8.4 volts. It lets the magic pixies out. So I think for folks that are running that somewhat rare combination of a 1080 G2 or a Fusion Pro with a 2-speed or a dig, you could indeed be running a high volt front, an 8.4 volt servo up front, so you'd be wanting to run 8.4. That doesn't play nice with that guy. That guy is rated at 4.8 and 6, and because I run it for dig, I live out on the edge, and I've been running it at 7.4 volts. But I would love to run it at 8.4 volts because it'll be quicker and a little stronger and dig and actuate a little quicker. So he will be getting that JX servo in here. But as you see, Jake has got a real clean wire operation here, and I've probably got to cut about 14 zip ties to get that servo in there. Jake is also not the Friday wheel of the day, so we're not under any sort of time crunch to get that servo into him anytime soon. Well, you know, sooner rather than later, but it's not 100% necessary. The Canyon would also... That's a red cup. The Canyon would also like to announce that we've got coming up somewhere in the It Came From the Workbench series. I don't know where this one will be numerated. This was dropped off. Channel member came out, brought his son out. They drove for a little bit here. It's a good time. We will be building something. We've got Hyrax on 3D printed. We've got Canyon Trails on 3D printed. You know I love these style of wheels. That's Daphne's wheel, but she runs them in black. We've got some F9s with an SOA. Maybe it's going to end up SOA. Maybe it's going to end up CMS. It's 2660s. We're in the bag right here. Set up DriveTech style. We're going to get to test a Shift RC, whatever this thing is, GT3. Shift RC GT3, my first experience with that. We're going to try that out. Gearbox is hopefully going to be a Tulo. Speaking of the Tulo, yesterday my buddy and I, Rhino and a Shorty Boy 3530. Most importantly, Ford. I kept thinking it was a Blazer. It's a Bronco. So this is going to be a Bronco build with the hard body. Where that's going to fall in the numeration of the It Came From the Workbench series, I cannot say. But speaking of... Oh, I lost my train of thought. Speaking of the Tulo... we wrap back around. Speaking of the Tulo, we attempted yesterday, me and my buddy pulled Diablo all the way down and attempted to see if we can fit a Tulo skid and gearbox inside of a Kleimanstein. And you cannot. You absolutely cannot. Basically, a Kleimanstein, with the way they did their center gearbox, if you look at a Tulo, the way the bearings are... If you look at a Tulo, see how these are like this? We got that little of the 3 right there. So that's how you can tell that this is the rear output, because there's a bigger gear around that, so that's the underdrive side. So this is configured as such that to run it, the spur goes in the back. So back of the vehicle's over here, front of the vehicle's over here. The UGRC gearbox looks like this. So it's basically flipped 180 degrees because the spur's in the front. So this makes sense. Now, what that does is it puts the outputs like wrong. So this is right where the link mounts go. There's no way you can get a drive shaft on there. And yes, I did think, well, what if I pull this shaft and put it out over here? And I could have tried to reconfigure the whole thing, put an output over here and put an output over there, basically reverse the gearbox. Then you arrive at the primary problem, which is if you mount a motor that's longer than, like, that 3530 might fit, but where the chassis kicks up in the front, the motor's right there. It's right there. So there was really no way to get it to fit. So Diablo was reassembled. Hasn't been driven. So here's hoping we put him together right. We'll find out soon enough. So the wheel of the day brought to us courtesy of Beadlock Thursday is our good buddy here. Blue Sky High on his fancy chassis, because he was famously, most recently, on Beansaws. That was the last episode he appeared in. This isn't an official sort of it came from the workbench installment for this, because it came from the workbench number 2. This isn't an official installment. This is just a continuation of what happened on Wheelin' Wednesday, because we find out things. You know, Diablo might never have gotten to try those ruptures, and they work fantastically. So, with the Beansaws, I was in agreement with commenters that said I felt like they were a little too short, because they're, what, 4.5s is what ripsaws are, thereabouts. Well, when they're full of beans, they're much shorter than that. They act maybe a little bit shorter than a Class 1. So somewhere between a 393 and a 419, little too small for this guy. His clearance, his overall clearance isn't amazing. So we need a tire that's a little bigger. And I thought, we've got that. So he's going to audition a handful. Here are the XORs again, exactly as they were on Wednesday. I feel like they're going to be too stiff. I feel like he's going to want something more compliant, but I don't know. So they're going to go first. Going up second, flat irons on the YZZRs. I kind of want to see. The reason these two are here, there are 3 more sets right over behind me. I'm gesturing over there. And those, I feel like one of those 3 is going to be the guy. I don't think it's going to be either of these. But what I want to see in regards to these is, when I ran them on Wednesday, the performance between these two was indistinguishable. Like, I felt like you could put 2 of these on and 2 of these on, and it would be exact. You wouldn't even be able to tell. So I want to see if that continues over when introduced to more variables. We got 4-wheel steer. He's pretty light without wheels on. Because of the axle, you can't add weight, right? Like, all the parts have been discontinued. So he's not toting a lot of weight. We have an intermediate set here. These are Canyon Trails. The gentleman that is going to have the Bronco built brought me some 3D printed inserts that he printed specifically for Canyon Trails. And in my hierarchy list of names, you'd have like hard, medium, and you get up to soft. So medium soft, soft, super soft, ultra soft, and then whatever these are. To the folks across the Atlantic Ocean, they feel like they're full of candy floss. They've got the side strength of a 3D printed, but like these are pillow soft. So we're going to see how that goes. The bench part of my brain tells me this might be the hot ticket. So if we're going to test that, we're going to test a little bit more of something a little more traditional in the 3D printed insert. These just came off of a fella. Not any of the fellas. Of a gentleman. These are indeed, as you can tell by looking, Deepwoods, but these are fitted with squid inserts. So these are Deepwoods with squid inserts. So, I mean, if there's a set out here that's a ringer, it's these. And we're not running enough Deepwoods. I love Deepwoods. We need some more Deepwoods in service. So the final set is Deepwoods again, but because the Deepwood? Is one a Deepwood? Because the Deepwoods are effectively the same size as a Canyon Trail. Like, they're the same width. They have that kind of same pillow up over the outside edge of the rim. These are 200 grammars. But, I mean, there's nothing to hold the tires up. So they're like 3/4 the width. I'm going to test those last. That's just kind of I don't know, like a perverse curiosity. Ooh, here's a fun game. Okay, I'm going to go with what I think is lightest to heaviest. Lightest, Canyon Trails, 777. So that's pretty light. That's not going to be helping out in the weight area. 823. Again, that's a negligible increase in weight. I think these are heavier. 927. Now we're getting into something. YZZRs in here. for those who didn't see the installment with those. I think these are a little heavier. $952 on there. We're getting there. But like I say, I think best case scenario, these two behave identically, and I think these are going to look amazing. I don't think they're the guys. And then finally, delving directly into the realm of absurdity, Beanwoods, 1481, which misses doubling the. Yeah, two of them are 742, and that full set is 777. So these are not going to help in the ground clearance department, but I mean, it should at the very least be interesting. I am really on track with the bean-filled tires. I think that the advantages so far outweigh the drawbacks. Like, yes, there's that loss of side hill ability, but you make up for that with I can't even call it a surplus. You make up for it with a nonsensical amount of forward drive. The open cell single stage, say it with me, everybody, the open cell single stage foam is what I had said was the king of forward drive, like optimized for forward drive. But it isn't. I mean, in non-ridiculous terms, it is. But nothing forward drives like the Beansaw. Well, the Beanwoods. A bean-filled tire. Something with beans in it. I opted not to go with the combo today. No combo of Bean and BB. We will try that at some point. But I'm almost positive, because there's going to be less volume filled, I'm almost positive that combo is going to require some sort of inner to take up the volume, because the BBs won't be filling the volume. 200 grams in a deep woods or a canyon trail pretty much fills the tire when it's laying on its side, which makes them a little annoying to fill. And this was not the wheel choice. Again, like I had said, the BBs perfectly fit into those little triangles. And if you've never tried to pick up an airsoft BB with a pair of tweezers, don't. It's like the world's worst skill crane. It is agonizing in its level of frustration. So we're going to go. I kind of structured them mentally in the order that I think they're going to do the least to the most. Well, I don't know. These two are basic. Let's cut the cake into the appropriate size slices. I think that one of those two guys right there, one of these two guys is probably going to be it. If not the whole setup, then the insert. One of these two is probably going to do it. These are here to see if they perform identically on this vehicle as they did previously. And these guys are here just because I love it. Like, I think the side hill on this is going to be woeful. All right. But you never know. 1,500 grams of wheel and tire is not to be discounted, and it's not just unsprung weight; it's weight that stays at the bottom. So it's pendulum weight. I don't know. We're gonna find out. What I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna set the tripod up standing. No bucket chair today, everybody, because 5 sets of tires. I've already been rambling on for a long while here, and I've probably forgotten to mention some stuff. This could take a minute. And I love to occupy, like, hey, I get you here, and now you're here. And then I take your time, and I make it my time, and then I get to live forever. So, as part of my not silent ploy to live forever, let's go out there. We'll see some new stuff. We'll see if any of these tires are decent. And then, only then, will I have to let you go. Simply because I believe that it is cursory, we must, of course, go directly to Slick Rock, because I kind of want to see the drive. Yeah. Again, is it the insert? Is the insert too firm? Or is the carcass is at a level of thickness? I don't think it's the compound. I think carcassal thickness is too high, and we're not getting enough out of these. And even if the insert were softer, the insert would have to be really, really soft to overcome the fact that, like, these don't, they feel very trail to me. I love the look of them, but they don't do what I hope they do. Now, generally, with the theoretical concept of total available grip, a lack of overall pure forward drive is going to be offset by traction in other situations, and I feel like that's going to be the case here. The flat irons have never exhibited a tendency to, like, side slide, so I don't think we're going to drop away, and I don't know if it's going to fold. Yeah, it's actually dipping more than I would have thought. I'm kind of trying to treat everything two-wheel steer, because that's what happens when I four-wheel steer. So it's acting tall. It's acting pretty tall on these, which is surprising. I mean, these are softs and mediums. Again, would super softs all the way around, air quotes, fix it? I don't know. Okay, we're gonna try crab. No, that is gonna upset. So slow. Come on. Come on. Nope. It acts really tall. I've been trying to conjure up a name for this. The stranding? I think I'm going to go with the stranding for this. We're just going to try to pick a line here at the stranding. I think four-wheel steer is going to have to come into play. Yeah, these on this type of surface. Well, that's a noisy boy. There's, like, right here, I want that rear tire to pull over, and if it had more compliance, perhaps, but I don't know, like, the lack of compliance, where is it coming from? Is it the insert? Is it the tire? Is it that this is just not, is this an unhappy marriage? Like, this insert and this tire don't like each other? Ooh, high centered, no less. I'm trying to move it this way. We're not, I mean, if I had to categorize this, like, flailing would be a pretty good word. We're just going to escape under our own power. Now, the big fun here is, how will the performance of the XOR compare to the so-so going we just saw here? Through what I feel is either wildly misplaced and unusual optimism. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm hopeful. I love the look of the XOR. I think, color wheel implications aside, I think blue and orange is a fantastic combo. Then the realistic part of me is like, they're gonna do about the same, and they are doing about the same. Let's get around there. Yeah, I used a little bit of four-wheel. What I notice is these say on the sidewall 455, and I think everything else here is a 465. The flat iron might say it's a 475. It's not. These feel taller than the flat irons, despite not being. But like the overall, the amount of forward drive, we're never gonna pull straight over the beam. At least not on this insert. Like we're getting a decent amount of backslide on these. So I knew inside, yeah, that's way more wheel speed than I would like to use. I said inside that I thought these two weren't gonna be the guys. And I mean, just from that, following formalities aside, these are not the guys. But if nothing else, there's a quiet, there's a tacit combat going on in the background. And that is 3D printed versus $16 worth of Amazon Injora inserts. And I'm genuinely struggling to perceive a difference. They feel exactly the same. What we get right here, oh yeah, there's a little bit more. The positionability is better on the XOR than the Flatiron. Okay, we're gonna get that tire high right there. And, ooh. Any four-wheel steer I do is gonna be counterproductive, or it isn't. Oh, that's an edge. That's a definitive edge. XOR and Injoras. Not earth-shattering, but I'm not anticipating a burst of magic. We've got what are cosmetically very different looking treads, but I think physically, I think in their ability to grab onto stuff and provide you with forward drive, they're oh so similar. I am having to use more wheel speed with these. Again, despite its maybe we should change the name. Rock Beast to me is more of a trail beast. These would clear mud real good. And oh yeah, there's just more positionability in the XOR than there is in the Flatiron. The Flatiron has kind of homogenized tread blocks. They're kind of all the same size and shape. And this guy, yeah, there we go. I used very little four-wheel steer to get up to here. I can't see what he's doing. We'll try wrapping this way. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's a big old thing that I was stuck on there. Yeah, that's a 3.5 foot fall. Should we continue with that? XOR edge on the Flatirons. Not a walk-off. And realistically, still, even with the edge, so very close. Like they are almost indistinguishable. And what that has brought me to the conclusion of is if it was between one and the other, the t'other, you would have to really want to get pit bulls and really love the look of the XOR to choose them over the Flatiron, because it's like $12 a pair different. So it makes these like 50% more expensive. These are crazy priced. I love the look of them, and I so wish that the performance matched. These are, in my estimation, performance optimized Canyon Trails. The inserts are very soft. These are RTR compound, but they are they have the perfect feathering on them. They're on wide wheels, and to the point where the wide wheels might be too wide. I'm not feeling how soft those inserts are, except in that the compliance level is not okay. Well, yes, I am noticing it. The compliance level is increased significantly compared to the other two, the YZZRs and the Injoras. But the ground clearance, yeah, we're not even sitting 4.5. We're sitting really low. And with the C-hub design on this, I think this combo, probably not it due to the lack of, these are riding a hair higher than bean saws. So that 1/4 inch or so, I'm not detecting it. So I'm feeling it in the breakover. Now on here, it should do amazingly because I think this is the widest set. And yeah, the 3D printed is doing the thing, it's doing the thing. Okay, that tire is up high. Not a great entry. That little squishy corner, I feel like of all the other things that we're auditioning, I think that little squishy corner is, I think that's the make or break. I think the guy that does this, just axled in, the guy that does the best right here, yeah, he does a lot better on these taking that very high shot. If we come down into the normal spot and try to come across here, there's the load and there's the roll. Despite being the lightest set, I will say they don't ride light at all. And maybe, just maybe, that lighter, yeah, yeah. Here is where I'm feeling the lightness, because instead of using weight to keep that position down, we're using super squish. Now we'll see, there's that point of rock that we got to. There's the first one. Well, that was good positioning, I must say. They just, yeah, they act real small. They act the smallest that we've seen, even with bean-filled ripsaws in mind. Yeah, four-wheel steer is an absolute must to maneuver these. I'm gonna try to stay up higher right here. There's a good amount of grip in these. Sidled right through there. Yeah, these feel rewarding. And despite being the lightest set, maybe it adds to like a feeling of like nimbleness. Yeah, this is good right here. This I like. What I don't like is how much we get bellied up because we're giving up height. But you can definitely work with it. You can definitely work with these. These feel good. And we're right in line. So here's hoping that the double Deepwoods combo, the Deepwoods double feature, is gonna show us something nice. Up here in the 4 spot, the penultimate tire, Squidwoods. Yeah, there's that drive. There's a little solid drive there. And these act taller. Yeah, they're 465s. This is the Canyon Trail, but now we've got more support because the insert overall is just a little firmer. And I think that the total forward drive in the Canyon Trail might be a little higher because of that insert, but I don't think we've got a match here. I don't think the Canyon Trails even need more weight. Just need a rig that wants that combo. So time to see how the Squidwoods handle the big side hill. And I have some wheel time on Deepwoods, a little bit. So I will tend to enter into lines and obstacles with a little more reckless abandon than I would with others. There's that very high right there. Just bad entry. I think it would hold any amount of throttle or steering input, and we're going down. But I think it would hold. Just back it out, and then I'll try that same the Canyon Trail approach. Get that to slide. Keep the steering in, and then hope that it sets down. Yeah, there we go. The feel, the Canyon Trail and that Deepwoods, these two setups, they feel real similar, but I've got that little bit of extra ground clearance on Squidwoods, and I like that part. The question is, what will be the difference in compliance here? Yeah, they're so close. So, shout out to the gentleman behind the future Bronco of It Came From the Workbench ? That insert in that Canyon Trail is pretty good. I would not go so far as to say it is indistinguishable from the Squid. It is very soft. And that's, I mean, I can tell the difference that way. It does make me want to, because of the size, it does make me want to try the insert in the Deepwoods. That's a potential future. I've got a couple homeless sets of Deepwoods. Yeah, more forward. There's a bit more forward drive, but the performance, at least apples to apples, only what we're looking at right now. There's a more, not much more, but there's a more rounded performance pattern to these. Now I don't know. I don't know if that's the insert or the tire, because we are, you know, it's not apples and oranges, but maybe it's apples and pears. That's nice through there. Yeah, I feel more control overall. The Canyon Trails felt really good. This feels more direct. Like these feel really solid. I like that. So we have only the finale, which, hey, they might work. We don't know. Come on, get through. Get through. There we go. Yeah, right here the Deepwoods are acting a little lower. I might have been standing in a different spot though. Like I can't see the rear tires at all. I don't even know what I'm doing. There we go. There we go. And we're through. Yeah. So close between those two. Now these should, in theory, and I'm guessing in practice, that's what a theory is, behave the shortest, because these are indeed Beanwoods. They're not the tumor style that we did for Skeeter. This is 200 grams of airsoft BBs in each, 800 grams total to give us that 1,400 and some gram total set weight. So these are going to act short, and I will tell you right now, a little aside, I mounted 8 Deepwoods total, 4 on Squid inserts and 4 on beans. And let me tell you, I mounted all 4 of the Squid inserts in like an eighth of the time it took to mount the 4 on beans, because the beans, they go everywhere. Also, oddly, in the Endura wagon wheels, you might have been able to see that on the Squid insert, they're on the 6-spoke, and these are on the like multi-spoke, like the 10-spoke. The 6-spoke go together easier, which is weird. It should be pretty much identical other than the cosmetic features, but it was just far easier to build the 6 spokes than it was to build these. Beans aside, oh, are we at a point of diminishing returns? Oh, I am watching the rear tires. Look at them, look at them. Okay, we've located a problem. Let me tell you what the problem is. We last ran 200 grams of beans in Canyon Trails. And I'm pretty confident in saying right now, the carcass of a Canyon Trail is stiffer than the carcass of a Deepwoods. I don't think Beanwoods can do. I think they just go full beanbag on us, because, like, look at that rear tire. Oh my goodness. Yeah. He acts like he's had a lowering kit installed. These don't act short. These act mad short. Let's bean our way down here. Now on Side Hill, we should hopefully see something. Watching those rear tires is insane. They're not even staying round. This was unanticipated. So clearly the Ripsaw, which we'd filled with 100 grams, also has a stiffer carcass than the Deepwoods. And we all learned together, and we've learned something here incidentally yet again, which is you need a stiffer carcass to do the beans. The Deepwoods are too soft, which makes me wonder about fossil beans, because the fossil has more of a straight up and down sidewall and feels a little firmer. But can we even get that front tire? No, we cannot. I was like, can we even get into a spot to get that front tire to lift into the air? No. 800 grams of weight in the tire. It's too much for the tire. So the 800 grams might be the jam, but we got to find the tire. So we're not done. Like, he's going to roll out on the end of the day. When he goes back on his rack, I'm thinking probably the squid inserts. The squid inserts seem to be the leader of the class right now. But the bean experiment is certainly not coming to an end. Watch that rear tire. Yeah, these are going to do terribly here, I think. Okay, yeah, it's called negging, I guess. You say, oh, these are going to do real bad. And then it's like, well, I'll show you, pal. These require four-wheel steering for this operation. It is not optional. It is mandatory. They're just big. They're like big balls of goo that you can't deny. I mean, the grip and the drive. I mean, well, they're no other insert, regardless of what it is. Look at that front. No insert is going to conform like this. No, I need to go here and then back over. And honestly, ordinarily, coming through here, I would have this overwhelming worry. I'm like, oh man, C-hub, something. I feel like, and like right in here, this is iffy business. Look at that rear tire. I'm less worried because I feel like the tires, the Beanwood is, oh, that front tire. Shout out to the Injora Deep Steelies that it hasn't shucked all four of these tires off. This is crazy. They can like absorb energy. They're like shock traps. So you get all that load up and ordinarily it would be transmitted through the rest of the drivetrain. It isn't. Like the tire will build up the load and the rubber is elastic. So when the beans move, the tire just goes and pops that stored energy loose, which is why these are the king bump tires of all bumping. We are going to find it. We're going to, ooh, oh, uh-oh. Did we speak too soon? We might have. So here in an abbreviated farewell, I'm gonna go, and until we get this stripped apart, we won't know. Where the click sounds like it's coming from predominantly to me, I'm gonna say hat gear. It may well indeed be one of the intermediate gears that like I might have to pull the whole top off. I want to say hat gear. It might be spur gear, but this right here, that makes me want to say hat gear. It's definitely in here. It's not the axles. They seem fine. It's not the drive shafts. So if you'll remember back, there will be a select few of you that will remember this. When I did the review on the XF and notice that when you buy the XF kit, quote-unquote kit, despite the fact that it's fully assembled, all the gears inside now, except for the gear on the top shaft, are plastic. And they've put a slipper eliminator in it as well. So I think the slipper eliminator kind of threw its hat into the ring. Whereas, like, for instance, on a Stealth X, the top shaft gear is metal. The two intermediate gears that drive the output gears are metal. There's a lot of metal. The hat gear is metal. So I have a metal hat gear, and I'll probably be having to purchase another one. I almost for sure want to say it's the hat gear, because that, is not good. We took some teeth off of one of those white plastic gears in there, and I'm gonna sort it out. I have enough gears to build another Stealth X right now, so he's gonna be fixed and back in service before this video is even edited. That will be done. So I will take this opportunity here in the broken closing to thank you. I got to carry all of this stuff back. Usually I would drive something back. To thank you all so very much for watching. To invite you to tune in for whatever we have coming next. We've got the tire test. Oh yeah, here only for the people who made it to the very end. The Flanco. It came from the Workbench 21. Will be coming up in the next couple days. Another couple tires being tested on the Flanco, and the Flanco has gotten some of its previously threatened mods and upgrades done because it's, you know, it did its tracks test, so it can have things like underdrive and knuckle weights and etc. So that'll be coming up in the next couple days. I should have a junk view coming up next couple days as well, probably after the weekend. We'll see how it shakes out. I don't know. I'm going to go inside. I'm going to go fix this guy. I'm going to thank you so much for watching. I'm going to tell you that in between now and when we meet again, do your very best, one and all, to have a good one. Like, subscribe, etc., etc., etc. And just glanced down at my watch, and on where the hands should be, it's just a couple words, and it says, I'm going to have to let you go.